Good morning, everyone. We are in the beautiful Roan Highlands doing a AT section hike from Carvers Gap to 19E. It's going to be a beautiful day. Come along with us. Right as you climb up out of Carvers Gap, there's this beautiful spruce fir forest you come into for a little while. There's Carvers Gap down there where we started at, Roan High Knob, which we'll hike another time. And looks like we're gonna have beautiful views all day long. Alright, so we're on top of Round Bald now. This is only about 3/4 of a mile in to the hike from Carvers Gap, so definitely can make a day hike if you can't do all of it. Then the next smaller hump there is Jane Bald. The AT goes off to the left from there. You can also do Grassy Ridge Bald if you want to. And then from there, we'll cross Little Hump, Big Hump, and back down to 19E where the car's parked. This section between Round Bald and Jane Bald, I believe it's called Engine Gap. It's probably one of my favorite parts for some reason. But the climb up Jane Bald is definitely a tough one. It's pretty steep. This section of the Appalachian Trail from Carvers Gap to 19E. It's probably one of the more popular sections along the trail. And then, according to many thru hikers, it's the most beautiful part of the trail. So we're really glad this is going to be our first section hike to start it off with a bang. This is the approach up Jane Bald. Of course, the videos or pictures never show how steep it is, but it is a rough one, especially when it's covered in ice and snow, which we have done. Almost to the top of Jane Bald, looking back at Round Bald and Roan High Knob. Alright, we just turned off on the AT, continuing northbound at the intersection with the blue blaze for Grassy Ridge Bald. So all this from here on out is going to be new trail for us. We've been amazed at all the different wildflowers all over the place through here. We can't think of another place we've ever seen anymore. So this is our first AT section hike. We were hoping one day we could maybe do a through hike, but don't want to wait on that. So just spur of the moment, we had a few good days of weather and we decided let's go get our first section out of the way, and why not do the most beautiful section everyone says there is, since it's so close to home. Nothing but good things to say about it so far. So far we've been about 5 miles today. We're going to try and do 10, as close to that as possible before we set up camp for the night, and then that'll be 5 miles left down into Mountain Harbor Hostel, which is where we parked the car and shuttled from. So 15 miles, 16 miles total with a road walk back to the hostel. We are taking a shoes off, pack off break. And this is our view. Down there's the Over Mountain Shelter and camping area. And up above that's Grassy Ridge Bald, Jane Bald, and Round Bald with Roan High Knob in the distance. We are making the climb up to Little Hump. It's been steep and steady. We are finally approaching Little Hump Mountain. Glad to be back out on the Bald. We made it to the top of Little Hump. A lot of great views, a couple of nice campsites if the weather's good enough to be up here. And then we're going to Big Hump, or just Hump Mountain, next. We're going to try and camp pretty close to that, one side or the other if we can, if the weather's good enough for it. It's supposed to get a little windier, so we can catch the sunset tonight and the sunrise tomorrow. The sun is starting to set, and that is our destination for the night. Big Hump Mountain. We're gonna try try and find us a good campsite, whether that's before we get to the top or on the top, so we can catch that sunrise in the morning. We're cooking a little dinner before we go any further. Enjoying a little bit of the sunset colors. We're thinking we're not going to go to the top of Big Hump because it's pretty windy, as I'm sure you can probably hear. So we're probably going to stay down about this level, find the closest campsite we can after we're done grabbing something to eat. This is what you get for all the miles and the work. Alright everybody, it's been a great day. We got our tent set up. We're going to finish getting everything put away and call it a night so we can wake up early in the morning for the sunrise. We'll see you then. Good morning everyone. It was a windy night. Still probably the best sleep we got in a tent so far. But it's a beautiful morning. We're stirring about, packing some things up a little bit. I'm gonna try and catch some of the sunrise before we head out. Still making our climb up Big Hump. Should be our biggest climb for the day. We've got about 7 miles total back down to the car. Although it's an uphill, at least you have views the whole way. Alright, I'm kind of out of the wind now. Very beautiful continuous section of bald, the most beautiful we've seen. We're fixing to start dipping down back to the road though, so we're getting our last views of the bald right now. That descent coming off of Hump Mountain was very rocky and steep, so didn't film very much, just focusing on the trail. We're gonna go up here to Doll Flats, which is a nice little flat area tent camping spot right on the North Carolina-Tennessee state line, and take a break. The area behind me is what's known as Doll Flats. There's also some really nice camping sites right here at it, and while the AT crisscrosses the North Carolina and Tennessee state line back and forth from the Smokies all the way to here, this is the actual spot where it officially leaves North Carolina and will not return. It goes into Tennessee here all the way to Virginia. We're still dropping down back to the road, pretty steep, pretty rocky. Got about 2.5 miles left to the road, and then a short road walk to the car. We're almost back to the road. Got about a 1/4 mile road walk back to Mountain Harbor Hostel Bed and Breakfast. If you're ever in the area, check them out. They allowed us to book a last minute shuttle, and actually took us up to Carvers Gap about 40 minutes before we were supposed to leave. So very pleasant experience with them. Alright, back at the car, soaking up some AC. It's time to go get some barbecue. Thanks for coming along with us, and we'll see you next time.